Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Dylan John Ehler, or Eyler, I'm not sure how that last name is pronounced. He went missing May 6th of 2020, just a couple months into the pandemic, from Truro, Truro, Nova Scotia. Parents are Jason Ehler or Eyler and Ashley Brown. He was 3 years old when he went missing. What I'm getting from this reading is that somebody sought relief from offloading the baby. Somebody didn't want the baby or felt like the baby was holding them back or holding them down. With the child card, the message of concern, and the sudden wealth, feeling free. So when you look at child and the message of concern, they're related together. There's sad news about a child, and then, feeling free or feeling safe afterwards. That's kind of like telling me that somebody didn't really want to be bothered. And then we move down here, we have the Fool, which could represent freedom, Seven of Cups, wishful thinking, the Star, renewal, Knight of Pentacles, committed or efficient, Temperance, calm, peace, and then Ten of Swords, victimization. So that tells me that somebody wanted a fresh start. Somebody wanted something new. And in my psychic impression, I got suffocation. Now, when I was doing like recon on this case, because I saw it mentioned in somebody else's story, and I was like, oh, I didn't know, I never heard of this child either that's missing. So I looked it up because I wasn't familiar with it, and I was like, oh, he was with his grandmother last, and there's a creek behind or near her house, and he fell in the water. And they said it's they have or that water has like a strong current. So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm expecting to see that the baby's in the water. Now I did get the, the Temperance card, the Star card. They're showing you water. Temperance card, foot in the water. But, and I was just going to leave it at that, being lazy. Sorry. Sorry, guys. But then, something told me, you need to look at these cards and decipher them. So, freedom, wishful thinking, renewal, committed, efficient, calm, peace, and victimization. So this is what was wanted. This is what was needed in order to achieve a sense of peace. And, so being efficient at planning this, or, whatever it was, however this came to be. But I saw suffocation. I saw him being suffocated because, like I said, I thought, and I mean manual suffocation, like somebody suffocated him. Now when I see him in the presence of an older woman. I don't know if this is like another elder, a great aunt, another grandmother, somebody that's crossed over he's with. And yeah, he was suffocated. I don't see him in the water. Somebody manually suffocated him, and efficiently, or was committed to covering it up, or was efficient, in their planning to achieve renewal, relief, So somebody did not want to be a parent anymore, is basically what this all boils down to. So let's see if we can get any more information out of the cards. So in this final spread, it says to me, basically like this is what came in the aftermath of the disappearance. So the change of him disappearing, quote unquote, and then his death, perceiving this to be his actual death, because like I said, I saw him being manually suffocated. And then like just everything that came in the aftermath, the police, suspicion, the emotional roller coaster up and down, pretending to be concerning, but then dealing with guilt, because I did see an interview with the mother, and I was almost sold. I was almost sold on her innocence until she cried. I'll see if I can get that picture, because there was something, there was a vibration in that, in that scene, in that tonality, in her crying, that said her heart is aching for what she did, allegedly. That, and once I saw that, I was like, oh, she's fucking guilty. It's not funny. I'm just saying. I'm not laughing. It's not funny. I'm just saying. She would have been good with me if it wasn't for, like, the guilt came through in her crying. There was just a way that she cried. It was an aching cry. And I said, oh, that's guilt. So here we have despair, mature woman, sudden wealth, like I said, sudden wealth. It's like feeling safe, feeling free, feeling good. This is a gift of freedom. And then the message of concern is that people are suspicious. So when you look into the case, you'll see that there was this whole thing where Ashley Brown and the father, Jason Ehler, ended up suing the creators of a couple of Facebook groups or something for cyberbullying. People were very suspicious. I think they're still suspicious. But this is what I have. I have that the baby is no longer here. And because, I'm seeing him with like an older woman. Like I said, I don't know if this is a great aunt, another grandmother. I don't know if he was dropped off with his paternal grandmother or his maternal. I'm assuming it's the maternal. I guess I should have dug a little deeper, but I know it was his grandmother. But whoever he was with on the other side, he's with an older woman. Yeah, so that was really shocking. Sometimes you might think, just without even doing a reading, you think you might know, like you think you might figure out like what happened. This is an open and shut case, but no, a lot of times I've found that, for one, the children were murdered or disappeared prior to it being reported, and just because it looks like it went one way doesn't mean like you literally would have to dig into it if you're a researcher or a reader or a psychic. So yeah, sending some love to baby Dylan. And when I see him, I feel like he's like 5, 6. Like I still feel like he's young. Like he's presenting young enough to where, and the person that's with him, to where he would need a guide, which would be the older woman. And obviously she's very protective. Shout out to her and them, because she was willing to come through. Sometimes when it's babies, the people who, their peoples don't always want to connect, you know what I mean? They don't always want to connect. It's a respect thing. They're being protective of the energy. Same like with the 3 from Springfield. It took me a while to get those ladies to come on board. So sometimes, in certain cases, I'm not able to reach the babies because they do have like ancestors that really don't want to be doing this. But, she came through and with the baby, and I'm grateful. So I don't know, maybe this information will help somebody somewhere, tips or whatever, if somebody sees the video. But, sending them some love and appreciation for coming through. And you guys as well, thank you for supporting the video by liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. And we will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.